Hello everyone! Today we will be talking about some character configurations and how to make it easier for console players, or for you who still prefers to use a controller over mouse and keyboard. Before we start, I would like to thank you for watching this video. This is my very first talking video, and if in the end you enjoyed, please hit the like button and subscribe. I have plenty ideas and I want to share them all with you. Okay, let's dive in. First, let's check some control settings. I usually keep majority of them just how they are, just some small changes on angle, but that's very personal. Another nice one is to skip cutscenes that you have previously seen. Cuts big time on some loading screens for those poor souls with bad internet or still on PlayStation 4. For targeting section, I also usually keep as it is, but it's nice for you to play around and see how you feel. Targeting alone opens a whole window for an entire video, which I'm planning to do. Can be very tricky on controller. Messing around with your targeting filters can help you massively. Here, I like to uncheck some boxes to make it easier when I want to target a friendly NPC or players before enemies. And same goes for when I have my weapon out. Here, my priority goes always to enemies. But remember, by navigating through up and down arrows on your controller, you can always target your group. You also have customized filters, but those two usually is enough for me. At character, I like to make few changes. I personally don't like the auto Ffxiv weapon as messes with my targeting filters. The idle animation, I leave it to, since I love how my character look rested when I stop. You also can randomize those poses. Battle effect can be very personal, but I like to keep mine and my party selected as shown all, and others for known. During Raid Alliance, the 24 player content can be too much sometimes. For UI, I won't go too deep on this section, because I'm working on a second video just to talk about how you can personalize your UI. I like to change the name, show only the first name. Some players like to have some really big names, including myself, and that can take a lot of space on the screen. If you prefer, you can take them all together and have just the initials. I really enjoy personalized colors, so I change them for almost everything. In this section, you have the option to hide or show names and titles. I like to hide companions and minions. During Alliance raid, I also rather not have them. 24 people names on the screen is just too much, so I keep my party names, and the other alliances I just hide them. Here you also have settings for PvP, which I just leave as it is, as I don't play as much. Hotbars. This section here is very helpful for controller users. You can really play around with your hotbars, and especially the cross hotbars. I like to tick all the boxes. Sometimes I take the numbers off, but that's depend on the UI you're gonna have. Shared hotbars means that they will be shown for all your jobs. Some of them is really helpful to have shared, like settings, mounts, and food, for example. On the right top, you can see I have an extra hotbar displayed, but that is not shared, since I want to have different skills for each class so I can keep track of some cooldowns. Most of the cross hotbar settings you can keep the way it is, but you should change around and see what is the best for you. Here, specifically, I like to have only the last one. I don't like how they look on the screen always showing, but this is highly personal. this is where things could get a bit easier for controller players. Having this active will make you have extra bars without having to cycle them manually, which makes it easier during combat. Activate both of them and assign the hotbars and sides you prefer. For me, I like to have 2 and 3 for those. It will show for you just like this. Another note, you can take those names off or keep it, it's entirely up to you. Personally, I think looks ugly, so I'll just remove them. For the chat, which is a part of the UI that's not that easy to manipulate on a controller, but I will show you how to change the location of it on the UI video. I like to have full names on the chat and the word that the person is from, just out of curiosity. I love to personalize colors, as I mentioned before, for everything, so this is highly personal as well. You can play with filters for each section of the chat, including add a new section. Everything you can or not have on each tab is entirely up to you. Each one of them will show an example of that filter. So that's it, that's the maps for now. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. There are many things I wish to share as a new player to other new ones starting this adventure. See you around Eorzea!